Today we are going to talk about EU non-immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant visa. First of all, a lot of people they think they will get green card through EU visa, which is not true. Definitely, if you qualify for other kind of green card application, you may go there from EU visa to those kind of application, like for example, VAWA or other thing. But EU by itself is a non-immigrant visa, so it will give you only authorization to stay in America for 4 years. You can do legal work here. You can invite your family member, but still it's a non-immigrant visa. What is a EU visa? So the purpose of EU visa is to encourage victims of crime to help the law enforcement to investigate and prosecute crimes without the fear of being deported from the US. So the bottom line is, if you are a victim of crime, and I'm going to talk about all those crimes shortly. So if you're a victim of one of those crimes, and if you have information that may help law enforcement and U.S. government to prosecute those criminals, accused criminals, then they will, excuse me, they will issue you EU visa to stay here, and then you can help the law enforcement to prosecute the matter. Now, the question is requirements of EU visa. Victims of any of the following crimes could qualify for a EU visa if the crime took place in the US. This is a very important information. That's why I put like an underline of this. So the crime must took place in America, within America, and that includes all the territory, American territories. So a lot of time I get question from prospective clients that the victim and the accused, both of them are living in America at this moment, but the crime took place in a foreign country. In that case, you are not qualified for EU visa. There are other kind of process for that, but you will not be qualified for EU visa. The crime must take place in the US. Now the question is, what are the crimes? And there's a list here, but remember that this is not all the crimes. Even if there's like other kind of crimes not listed here, you will also be qualified for EU visa. So bottom line, they cover pretty much all kind of crimes. It starts with rape, torture, trafficking, incest, domestic violence, sexual assault, abuse, sexual conduct, like all kind of crimes. I'm not going to read everything because number one, there's a slide here you can see. Just remember, pretty much any kind of crime is covered under EU visa. However, just because someone was the victim of one of these crimes does not mean that she or he will automatically qualify. They have to meet the other requirements to prove and establish their position. So just because you're a victim, you're not qualified. Again, there are some other requirements. The applicant has, so one of those, like two of those requirements are, the applicant has information about that crime. You must have information about the crime, and it was helpful in being helpful or is likely to be helpful in the criminal investigation or prosecution of that crime. So you must have information, and the information must be helpful to the law enforcement agency. Only in that situation, you will be able to qualify for EU visa. What is certification from law enforcement and how to get it? So this is one of the most important document to get visa, like EU visa, is you have to get a certificate from law enforcement agency. And the question is how to get it. So the following officials and agencies may be able to provide the law enforcement certificate. The name of the certificate is Form I-918 Supplement B. Remember this, I-918 Supplement B. So a lot of time what happens is they just get a letter from law enforcement. That will not work. You have to take this form I-918 Supplement B form to the appropriate authority. They will fill it up, sign it, and send it to you. That is the proper mechanism that is necessary for EU visa application. It can be federal, state, or local law enforcement agencies. It can be prosecutors. Prosecutors are lawyers. Basically, they are government lawyers who prosecute the matter. Judges, the presiding judges can also fill up this form, or other authorities that are responsible for the investigation. Again, these other authorities pretty much cover everything in law enforcement umbrella. I'm not going to go in that detail here, because in the purpose of this show or this video is just information only. This is not a legal advice, just information. So I'm not going that detail into here. If you have any question or concern, you can always reach out to us. We'll be able to help you. Here, just information. What refers to substantial physical harm and mental harm? So this is another very important information regarding U visa, because just because you are a victim of a minor crime, it will not give you U visa. You must suffer substantial physical and or mental harm. So USCIS will consider several factors when deciding whether the harm was substantial, including any permanent or serious harm to victims' appearance, health, or physical or mental well-being. Substantial harm can be showed through a victim's personal statement and through supporting evidence, such as medical report, declarations from mental health providers, and a statement from professionals or friends or family who have helped the victim since the crime. So, here you can definitely submit a medical report like a doctor's note, also like mental health providers, assessment, or even like friends and family who helped the victim since the crime. All this can be part of, evidence to establish that you suffered physical and or mental harm. But you have to establish that. Just because it was a minor crime, but you did not suffer any physical or mental harm, that it will not work. U visa is offered for 4 years initially. In rare cases, the U visa status can be extended beyond 4 years, but only if additional time is necessary due to exceptional circumstance, or if the certifying agency provides a new certification specifically stating that victims' presence in the US is required beyond the 4 years. So again, usually we'll get it for 4 years. In some rare circumstance, it may be extended, but usually not. Just remember, it's for 4 years. And within these 4 years, if you qualify for other kind of visa application, definitely you can change of your status from U visa to other visa. Or if you qualify for a green card, you can go for adjustment of a status to green card application. If you qualify for those, you can do it. Unless you do qualify for any of these, then you have to leave America after 4 years. A U visa holder gets 4 years work permit immediately after approval of U visa. Here is a catch here: immediately after approval of U visa. At the time you apply for U visa application, you also submit application for work authorization. And a lot of people, they think as soon as I apply for this U visa, I get the work authorization. That's not true. First, you have to get the U visa approved. Only then they will give you the work authorization. Usually they do both of these together, meaning when your U visa application will be approved, immediately after that you will get the work authorization, usually within 1 or 2 weeks. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you will never get the work authorization before approval of the U visa. Applying for family members. U visa applicant can apply for his or close family members as derivative. Again, there's a lot of discussion about family members who are qualified, who are not. I'm not going that detail here because this is information purpose only. Just remember that U visa applicants can apply for their close family members, meaning parents, siblings, children, spouse, those kind of people. So just remember that part. Now the question of U visa application process and required documents. This is very important. So you have to fill up Form I-918. This is application for U non-immigrant visa status. Form 918 Supplement B. Remember, I talked about this before. Supplement B is you must fill it up and signed by law enforcement agency, any kind of those that we discussed. Also, Form I-192, the waiver of any ground of inadmissibility. I'm not talking about grounds of inadmissibility in this discussion because that kind of applies to any kind of visa application. Just remember that you also have to be, you cannot be within the scope of any grounds of inadmissibility. And to establish that, you have to submit Form I-192. Also, Form I-765 for work permit. You can also apply for work permit under this application. Along with these forms mentioned above, the applicant must send USCIS a personal statement that describes how he was victimized. This personal statement is very important. Also, she suffered substantial physical and mental harm as a result of the crime, as I discussed before. Also, you have to submit a statement that you were helpful to law enforcement and willing to be helpful if needed, meaning your information was helpful, and in future, if the law enforcement agency need your help, you are happy to help them. So these are the application process and required document. You fill up the form, you provide all the supporting documents, put it in an envelope, send it to the appropriate USCIS address properly. fee and processing time of EU visa. So there are no fees required to file for a EU visa application. However, some of the other forms within the package may have USCIS fee, for example, work authorization fee. However, in many cases, you can also apply for waiver of those fees. In general, most of the EU visa applicant can apply for the entire package without any fee, but you have to show the reason for waiver of those things. In general, it's free. Now the question is how long it takes. Typically, USCIS takes 12 to 18 months to process this visa. That was our discussion today. Thank you very much.